I'm Eric Mitchell, host of To The Point. Actually, I should do it this way. It makes more sense. To The Point with Eric Mitchell. It is Thursday, May 21st. We've got the upcoming Memorial Day weekend ahead of us. Hopefully, you're going to get outside. They haven't restricted that access yet. So, hey, we have Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, you're getting a 3-day weekend or what we've called the last 8 weeks. I guess that's what we're just doing. It's just one long weekend. Excited for the show we have for you today. But before we start, as always, got a simple request for you to do. I want you to stop what you're doing because I'm about to. No, I'm not going to. I always want to rap, and that's not what we're here for. I'd like it if you go and smash that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Give it a smash. Give it a whirl. Hit that bell button too so you know when we're on air, and then come back and catch out your favorite segments. You never want to miss our Thursday segments because, as you know, around here at To The Point, we honor our first responders, veterans, and our healthcare workers, our frontline defenders on everything. And we honor them every Thursday, and we've got a hell of a show for you ahead. Some little business before we get going on the show today. Tomorrow and Monday, we will be honoring our nation's fallen by not broadcasting. You can go to our YouTube channel that you've just subscribed to and shared with your friends, and you can go watch some past episodes. Go check out our veteran playlist segment to find your favorite veterans on there. We're going to be adding 3 more to the list for you to watch over the weekend. But so far, we've got some pretty incredible names, including Rudy Reyes, Kirstie Enos, Lisa Bodenberg, Rod Rodriguez, Rich Cordova, of course, the one and only Matt Kuchera. And we're going to add, like I said, a couple more incredible names to that list as we get going. But let's start off with a little bit of the news to get going on your Thursday. As always, like we've gone through this together, folks. Every Thursday, we get told the wonderful news of how many people are on unemployment or new people who filed. This morning, the new report came out, and we have another 2.4 million, yes, million, we keep adding to this number, to bring that grand total to almost 40 million unemployed Americans. I'm glad we have our show today because a couple of our guests are really going to be able to show you how they're helping people learn other professions, especially our first guest. I can't wait to bring him on. It's not his time yet, but I'm really excited to bring him on. Some other news that we have out here. I don't know if you saw it. It came out breaking later in the afternoon on the West Coast, so evening for you folks on the East Coast, where they said if we would have gone into lockdown measures a week or two before, approximately 36,000 Americans would still be here. Folks, this goes back to what I've said from the very beginning. Where are we getting this data from? How do we keep coming up with these numbers? I mean, we seem to be able to be very accurate about the number of people who've died from the coronavirus, but yet we could get into a bloody damn argument when we talk about veteran suicide and how many the number technically is. We can also get into a fight to tell you how many Americans are homeless, go without school, and don't have an education. When are we going to actually get to the truth about this virus? Because I'm still seeing people behave like children outside and seeing the videos all across my TV. So again, we're going to have a little Eric session here. So I want you to lean in closer to the camera. I'm going to lean in because apparently some of you aren't getting it. Wear your damn mask when you go outside. Put gloves on, wash your hands. We want to be able to go visit small businesses. I want to go sit down at a restaurant. Not that I don't love my wife's cooking, nor mine, nor my 15-year-old's, but I'm sick of it. I want a professional chef to go make my meal for me. Why? Because that's his damn job and he's really good at it. He doesn't come into my job and tell me how to put people on TV, so I want to go to his restaurant and have him make a meal for me. That's just what I want to do. But you know who's making it difficult? The people going around refusing to wear a mask. You don't need to wear a mask. You do. Why? Because we can open up America if you put a mask on. Just follow the damn rules. I'm not going to fly. Delta makes me wear. Then don't fly. You're not breaking my heart. That means you don't have to sit next to me, cough on me, be disgusting, hog the middle armrest. I mean, it's simple, people. We're just following simple itty-bitty rules. Wear a mask. That's all they're asking. A mask. It's not hard. A mask. Get a bandana. I love wearing a bandana. I have a Tito's bandana, and I wear it. It's the only time I get to feel like the rob. My mom said I could never dress like that when I was a little boy. She said, no, people think you're going to rob a bank. That's what bank robbers wear. Guess what? I get to do it every day. I don't go to the store every day, but you get the drift. I mean, we're starting to feel like we're going to the store every day. We're stuck in our house. What are we doing? We're eating. We're cooking. That's what we're stuck doing. But America, seriously, let's do that. And finally, before we jump in to anything, I want to cover a media topic that I find concerning to me. And to me only. I don't know if it concerns you guys, but everybody seems to be on social and talking about the election. It is important. And it is important that we all remember where we come from. And this show especially should always remind you where we come from. We have brave men and women who stand on a fence or in a shitty part of the world and defend our freedom. What that doesn't mean is for everybody to come home and get on social media and become warriors. Everybody's a freaking keyboard commando nowadays. Everybody tells you you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. It doesn't provide any stats or evidence, but everybody just wants to be generally a dick to each other online. How about we stop doing that? I mean, is that too much to ask? Is it too much to ask that we just get along with everybody and just do that? Is it so difficult? I find it astonishing that you all turn on your TVs and you watch probably one of two networks. It seems that everybody only watches two, even though the statistics will show we watch many. I watch Netflix and ESPN. I don't ever end up in those stats, but let's put it this way. There's a lot of commentators and anchors that are out there that'll give you their opinion. Some of them will turn into fanboys, and we're going to name two right here, right now. One, our friend Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity will say anything to make our current president look like a godsend. On the other side, we have CNN's Jake Tapper, who will say anything to make Joe Biden look good and Trump be bad. This is what we've been divided by. Now, people say what you like, but there's other anchors that are out there, the great Chris Cuomo, and people like Tucker Carlson that are more down the middle, that trigger your brain to work where you don't come across as some fanboy watching the Last Dance episode with Michael Jordan. It astonishes me people to sit here and do this. And mind you, folks, at the same time, you will be the same people who look the other way when Facebook censors people. And they're not censoring political comments anymore. No, ladies and gentlemen, they are censoring things that can actually help us to benefit the pharmaceutical community. You don't believe me? Go try to find a post I recently put up on Sunday afternoon. Facebook deemed that my post, full of scientific evidence that 13 strains of THC actually prevent, I almost said Canva, coronavirus or COVID-19. They told me, they sent me a little thing, and so I wish I could find it on my phone for you guys. It said it was fake news, even though 3 scientists are named on there. I looked them up. They are actual scientists. They're not like, cats or dogs that are scientists or Baby Yoda, which wouldn't be, it'd be cute if it was Baby Yoda. I think Baby Yoda smokes weed too. I'm just pretty sure he does. I just said that. Disney's like, shit. But anyways, don't let social media guide you. They're going to tell you things aren't right just because they have the power to do that. And if you don't like it, log off of it. It's just something I have to deal with. I've dealt with it before by putting patriotic stuff up, and they said this. But people are just wacky and weird. And we're going to get into how wacky and weird people are with some of the greatest folks in the world. So our first guest, we're going to be getting to the point here in a second, but I'm going to tease our first guest before we transition over to him. Our first guest, if you watch the Food Network and you happen to be a fan of Guy Fieri and you watched his show last night, Guy Fieri's Grocery Games, go do that one. I think that's Guy's show. He had several veterans on the show. We have one of the contestants on that show today. We have Navy Corpsman. And yes, if you are a Marine and your brain's going, was he on the green side? Yes, he was. He was a devil doc, as we affectionately love our corpsmen. Just to let you all know, out in the world, never get between Marines and their corpsmen. We absolutely love those guys. They feed us Motrin. They look at our horrible feet after long marches and feed us Motrin and tell us great advice like drink water and face outboard. You'll be fine. It's amazing how one little pill, I swear I could have been a corpsman if that's all I had to tell people to do is just take this big ass pill. You'll be fine. Amazingly enough, that big ass pill worked. It's true. I mean, they have an amazing job. They save all of our lives. We love them. My roommate, shout out to both my corpsman roommates that I had when I was in the Corps. You guys taught me many things, like how to put an IV into my body so I could recover from one of these deadly, deadly hikes. So it's going to be fun to bring on our first guest. So before we jump into that, let's make sure that I'm doing this by the way, in case you wonder with me looking over here constantly, producer Chris is off today. So I am handling the ones and the twos. So you got to bear with me if it's a little hanky. I just let y'all know up front. So you know, that's why. So before we get to the point, let's get to the point. Hold on, I got to move things around here. Y'all got to bear with me. Look at me go here. So before we get going, you guys remember the other day on Tuesday, we had our resident chef. Yes, every TV should have a resident chef. And if you have a resident chef on your show, he should also be an amazing chef. And we checked that box. He should also have worked with Gordon Ramsay. That gives him some street cred to me. Just generally be a badass chef that could cook amazing things. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but he threw down a challenge the other day on the show. And it has an ultra long hashtag that we'll put up here for you. So we're going to bring on Tuesday our resident chef before we bring on our next guest, because there's this challenge is going on. And hold on, we'll just do it this way. Jeff.
Yo.
So
what's going on, man?
It's good, my man. I'm getting into this challenge. So our first guest is a United States Navy corpsman, a devil duck, one of the finest individuals in the world. They will save Marines life and limb. They're the crazies that don't have a firearm, that run up. You see that shit in the movies where they're running up and they're like saving lives and plugging bullet holes. Brian's probably like, oh crap, he's got me like as the doc and freaking Saving Private Ryan. But it's the image I have, by the way. It's just what I'm going with.
Hey,
it works.
It works.
But anyways, he was just on Guy Fieri's grocery games yesterday. Made a couple. He made some amazing. He's an amazing chef. He has an amazing establishment. So I understand that you'd like to meet him, and I know he'd like to meet you. So let's make that happen. Chef Bryan Jacobs, ladies and gentlemen, our first guest, with our Hell's Kitchen chef in the middle, and the corpsman on the other side, and then just the Marine right here. So Chef. So, Chef Clemenza, what do you got for Chef Jacobs here?
So, I decided to do this challenge, and I did this for a couple of reasons. One is because in the beginning of this whole pandemic craziness, everybody went out and bought everything, toilet paper, anything they could possibly find. And even myself scooped up whatever canned goods I was finding, because there was nothing. Supermarket next to me had nothing. There was no meat. There was nothing. So I grabbed all these cans. Second part of this is a lot of people don't have a lot of money right now. Look at myself. My food truck hasn't gone out all summer long. There's no money coming in. There's just money going out every day. Yeah. So I kept getting these inboxes of people saying, what do I do with all these cans? What can I do to make right now, if you go to the store and try to buy a whole chicken near me, it's $15. Chicken's up. Beef is up. So people said, what can I do with all this? So I decided to do what I call the Triple-Duce-Chef Challenge. I'm going to challenge you to this. I know it's a little bit beneath of what we do. I don't really work with canned goods too often. I don't mind a good can of cream corn. It's pretty freaking banging, especially if you're high. Nothing wrong with it. Well, come on, man. You get stoned, you pop open a can of cream corn. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I'm going Vienna sausages, but
here's the challenge right here. So, the triple deuce meaning you can take any two canned goods. You must use two canned goods. Any two fresh product, meaning fruits and vegetables only. No meat, no nothing. Just fruit or vegetable. And everything from your pantry. All your dry goods, your pasta. I'll allow eggs and milk and that kind of stuff, but no meat, no fish, no chicken. The object of this is to try to use the canned goods as the star to show people, hey, you know what? You're broke, I'm broke. Look, nothing wrong with a good meal. You can make a great meal out of some canned stuff, especially if you got a family of 5, you're trying to feed people. Even me. Like I went go shopping yesterday, man. A chicken and a thing of ground beef was almost like $30. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like it really pained me. So if we can do this and get this out there, one, I think it'll be fun. Two, I think it challenges guys like you and me who, what the heck am I going to do with a can of green bean? You know what I mean? I did yesterday. I did canned salmon and peas, and I sauteed some onions, some cherry tomatoes, a little bit of that canned salmon, some peas, tossed in a little chicken stock and butter, and mixed in some pasta. And it actually wasn't terrible. It was a good home cooked meal. Look, people got to feed their families, man. And it's not like it's man. It's not much money. So if we could do this and maybe out there.
Yeah, we do this thing on Facebook called. We have a group called Hey Good Looking What You Got Cooking, and we're doing videos twice a week, and we're being really creative right now with because a lot of people they don't know what to do. They've stocked up. We're doing kind of the same idea, and I think it's a great idea because. What do you do with this stuff? I grew up on. I got very blessed. My grandfather was a chef, but my parents weren't chefs. And canned goods. When mom and dad had to figure something out. Look, I grew up on a dish called noodles, milk, and potatoes. And that's what's in the dish, but it's amazing. I love stuff like that. There's so many things that come to mind, man. I'm a big advocate of take what you got, rip it out the cabinet, and create a meal.
Oh, me too, man. Me too. I grew up. I remember my mother used to take a can of like baked beans, cut up some hot dogs, float the hot dogs in the baked bean. The hot dogs are wrapped with melted cheese, and it'd be like this little river of hot dogs. And I mean, it was great. There's nothing wrong with that. And like you said, let's see how creative people can get. And by the way, let me know your information on your page. I'll help out in any way I can to support you guys, promote you guys, whatever I can do to help out.
I appreciate it, brother.
Let me know, man.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I definitely would love to do the challenge. It's on Facebook. It's Hey Good Looking What You Got Cooking. My mug is the lead of the group. But you can go to Chef Bryan Jacobs and at least link me there, and I'll link with you too. Find your page, and then yeah, definitely would love to promote this challenge. I think it's important, especially in a time. I mean, I've been doing sourdoughs from scratch, so it's and the ugly thing is everybody's a baker all of a sudden, so you can't even find flour. So it's like, what can you do? How do you make fresh cornbread?
I give you all the credit in the world, brother. I can make pizza though. That's it. I'm not a baker. I never had to. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but I'm more of a little bit of this, a few of those. But I mean, yeah. Look, I wish I could bake. I wish back then I actually had the skill set and mindset to get into it, because now as a chef 30 years later, yep, exactly right. I'm starting to see some beautiful things. Shit, I wish I knew how to make that.
Yeah, definitely. No, I love it. I appreciate it. I really think it's important. I mean, it's one of these things. I mean, we're going through a weird change in America, especially in the food industry. So it's going to be unique. What happens next? I mean, so there's some rudimentary things happening, I think, too, where we're getting back to grow your own, these community impact markets. We're going to see a lot of surgence in that area, I think, because the little guy, little farmer, the little butcher, we're going to see some things happen.
I know. I hope so, because I miss the days of the mom and pop butcher and little local stores with, great produce. Now everything's just so mass produced. Like I don't know if you guys got Stop and Shop or Key Food or whatever your supermarket is, Food Lion, Publix. It's all mainstream, mass produced garbage. You miss the days at a little farm where you go, like in Jersey, you go to the farm stand, you get stuff right out, and they give you a basket, you go picking some stuff. You can't get that in any supermarket.
No, I got very blessed, man. I lived overseas in France, man, and I never went to a store. I go down the street, I went to the market, I picked up everything I need, from my cheese to everything, eggs.
Oh,
eggs were, yeah, man. I hate myself. I hate myself sometimes, So, but I tell you, man,
you're very lucky, man.
Yeah, I was super blessed. I tell you, it's going to be an amazing resurgence, though. But it's going to take guys like you and me, man, who are out there, and to get this back. Go out there and support those people. Start to leverage that, and we've got to do that as chefs. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, I'm a big believer. You are what you eat. Food is medicine, and I'm a huge piece. That's what my meal company is based on. That eat nutritionally dense, take care of your body, take care of your mind. But we got to get back to, that aspect of where food comes from. And, I think this is the time, though, where we could start to leverage that, because, these farmers markets, they're not selling these super high prices. All I shop at is like farmers markets. I go out to Arcadia, out to Mayaca, where I'm locally, huge farmers markets. And it's the little people who are being impacted still. And we have to do that. So I'm going out, doing some cooking ingredients, highlighting farmers, highlighting some things through the group, and really trying to get people to get back to the basics.
Dude, I think that's absolutely, honestly fantastic. And I love hearing that, because not many people think like that, man. Guys like you and me who've been through the mill with this, we get it. We get it. Look, it's easy to pick up the phone and say, give me 5 cases of this, 5 cases of that. Boom, it shows up on a truck the next day. But the little guys, and the local farmers, these are the guys busting their hump every day and giving you much better product at a better cost. And they're kind of forgotten about it a little bit now with all of this going on. Now they're really hurting. So I think it's great. And like I said, any way I can help support, I do that, man. I go to certain little mom and pop places, and try to give them. I even ordered I'm not going to say what the name of the restaurant is, but I know the guy and his food's okay. I'll be nice. It's okay. But I ordered in there just to show some support.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I know the guy tries. He busts his butt. He's got a family to feed.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea, but I showed some love, man. The guy's out there trying to support his family, and so are these little guys. And I think it's great the way you think like that, man. I really do.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I loved it. So, but nice to meet you, brother. Thanks for what you do.
Absolutely. That is guy Eric. On the other hand, this guy Eric is the one you got to watch out for, man.
Yeah, I'm well versed with the Marines. I know these guys.
He knows what our feet look like. Anyway,
Yeah.
Chef Lim, thanks for coming on, brother. We're gonna check you again on Tuesday when we come back. But
Absolutely, man.
Memorial Day weekend, my friend.
Brian, absolute pleasure, buddy. Thank you so much. Glad you accepted the challenge. Like I said, I'm gonna go like your page. Anything I can help out, just let me know, man.
Awesome, brother. We'll connect, man. Take care. Nice to meet you.
Okay. So we did that. That went longer than I wanted it to, but hey, that's what we
got. Hey, that's what happened. We started.
You chefs are like Marines. You're worse than Marines.
Man.
Y'all get all
knife hand and shit. We're like, hey, look, I got you.
But I have been sharing some of your social. But let's talk. So last night, obviously, it was taped. You did the Guy Fieri. You know, and people either love or hate Guy. I think his show's fabulous. It's probably the wrong thing that I ever watch, and I blame for the reason why I had to lose 50-odd pounds in the last 13 months is Guy's show always causes you to want to go eat. And my family, my wife and I got on this challenge to go eat where he's been. And as much as I bash on the Pacific Northwest, we have some of the most incredible food here and in Northern California where Guy's from. So I'm a big fan of Guy's. So tell us what the show, how that went about, how you did it. Because you've been doing, this isn't your first rodeo. It's not like you rolled over the other day and were like, I'm going to become a chef. Obviously, as a corpsman, you were into Marines and giving us Motrin. That's what Devil Dogs do, is make sure we live.
Vitamin M.
Right? I mean, hey, we love our corpsmen. Nobody messes with corpsmen around here. We don't allow, you know how. We have Patrick McDonald, who spent a lot of years in. He's in the comments like, nope, corpsmen are the most important human beings on the planet. You guys think you and payroll. That's all we care about. Don't screw up paying us and keep us alive. So what got you into cooking, brother? I mean, it's a pretty interesting journey.
It is. It's been huge, man. I tell you, I started cooking when I was 8 years old, actually. Oh, crap. It was one of those things that, it chose me. I was, one of a few grandkids, of course, and it was just like, hey, you come here. And next thing I know, that's where the journey began. I showed up to work as my first job, one of my first jobs as a dishwasher, and it went from there. Some guy didn't show up. I got brought on the line, and he was like, how do you know how to do this? And I was like, well, my grandfather taught me. He's like, well, you come back tomorrow, and we're gonna just keep showing up. And I'm like, okay. And it was that journey, and one thing led to another. And every male in my family has served in the military, so this has kind of been my grandfather, my other grandfather, all my uncles, my father, and I joined, my younger brother joined, and it was just one thing that led to another. I joined the Navy. I tried to join the Air Force. It didn't work out too well, and it was one of those pieces where the recruiter was out for lunch for 3 days, and I still think about what would have happened if I made the Air Force. But not worried about it now. But joined the Navy, ended up becoming a Navy corpsman. Obviously, lived and loved what I can see and do, and I loved being FMF Greenside. It was probably one of the most proud moments of my life. Got out of the military, man, and fell through the cracks. Fell on my face and got ate up by life. And it's one thing I can think of is I went back to what I loved, what I was doing. And when I say food saved me, it really did. I started culinary school, basically homeless. And I remember day one, minute one, I was in there. It's almost kind of like, this lady was like, you're not gonna, if you think you're here to be the next Food Network star or something like that, you guess again. This is not easy. And I'm sitting there comparing, well, I went to combat twice. I'm good. I think I'll be okay here. So and been yelled at by the best. I'm pretty good. I've been yelled at by men, first sergeants that could shake rooms and pictures would fall off the wall. But they did it out of love. They did it out of love, and I respect them. But and I was just enamored with food, and I was just good at it. And so I had a lot of passion for it. Truly didn't get my purpose or my calling for it until I actually lost my younger brother to veteran suicide. That was where my purpose came through, and that purpose was pretty amazing. I never knew, when you get saved for something. I mean, even in Iraq, a lot of bad shit happened, and I still I still go, how did I make it out versus how did they didn't make it out? And but God has a plan for everybody differently, and that's how I looked at it. And when Kevin passed, he took his life as a veteran suicide, and that was this Memorial Day week coming. This is his 6 years. So this is quite an amazing piece. I mean, we started a nonprofit in 2017. He passed away in 2014. I started a crash course boot camp called Vet to Chef, where we're just helping veterans. Now we're a 14-week behavioral health and reintegration platform that uses food as that behavior and that mode. So it gives us an opportunity to not only teach a skill set, teach new habits, new behaviors, new vision, and you get a new picture of what you are. And to be a chef, you have to have this creative mindset and open it up to see something for what it can become and not what it is. So we use that same mindset to help veterans see their lives for what they can become, not for what they are. So it's super amazing, man. And we've been at this for quite a while. I can't, the journey has been tough. The word nonprofit means nonprofit. I will say that. Never received a paycheck from my organization. Don't plan on it either. This is why we started the meal company, Reveille Meals. Reveille Meals is, it's a very much a holistic lifestyle approach to you are what you eat, and food is medicine approach. And it's one of these things where I just, we pour our heart into dishes. We hire the veterans who graduate from Vet to Chef. There are delivery drivers, there are cooks, they are preppers, there are all these guys. So, and girls, But, it's a next step in the journey. The goal is to bring vets of success to every major city who has these issues with veterans and their spouses. And it's super important to me that, you give back through what you love and not just try to give back because, we complain about time, we complain about money. But if you have passion with something, there's other people out there who can share that passion, and you can change a life through that. And, getting this opportunity to be on Guys Grocery Games last night and share that passion with people and knowing that you can do what you love and make a difference. And Reveille Meals exists for that same reason. You can do what you love to do, eat, and make a difference. So, very purpose-driven in this journey. So it's been many years, and, it's not going to stop anytime soon. So I'm stoked about what's next. But it's, it was such an honor. I'll say that. Guy Fieri, my hat's off to him. The Mess Lords are awesome guys. I should be able to get a chance to travel with the Mess Lords. And hopefully, once people get to see this video, share it, love it, call Food Network, tell them you want me back. So that's important. Call, let them know you like this guy.
We like you, but we've also heard that you have the best hair in the game. So.
That's that. I can't complain about the hair, man. The hair's on point. I mean, when you're called Johnny Bravo as a nickname, you need to keep the hair. So
I love it. It works because you get older and it starts falling out, and you look like me, like a hot mess. But Bryan, I want to thank you for coming on, letting Chef Clemenza come on. I know the Hell's Kitchen crew always loves our vets, and we've had a couple of Marines on there and a few other vets have made it on the show. So it's always good that he threw down that challenge. When I talked about you to him, I know he watched the show yesterday. He's like, I got to throw this challenge down to this guy. He's like, I want to help more vets. How those guys are. They've been in business for a long time. But I want to thank you for coming on. We'll have to have you on again real soon. So I've been sharing all your information. Anything you want to get out before you go? Because I got all your handles right there.
Right there. I just say, the biggest thing about, especially in this time, because people always ask, how can I help? But we do have T-shirts for sale. You can purchase T-shirts. That money goes back into the nonprofit. It's, our training to the veterans, it costs us something. It is free for the veterans. But it's, $1,500 a veteran just to go through the course. That's our cost. And the veteran is not responsible for it, so any help is great help. But right now, the best help is go to the pages, like the pages, invite your community to like our pages, and share the hell out of it, because that's how you can give back right now.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Bud, for coming on the show, and we will talk to you real soon. Have yourself a good Memorial Day.
Hey, you too, though, brother. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, bro.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Hey, y'all take care.
Hey, it brings me back in. Hold on, we got to do this. See, this is the problem when I'm in charge. Guests just pop up that are supposed to be not there. Producer Chris, we definitely miss you today. This is not as easy as it looks trying to do this and bring guests in. So, by the way, guests, normally we'd tell you this in a private message. We're running a couple minutes behind. So, just thought I'd tell you. That's just how we do that. So, I know some of you are stuck in your car right now, but I'll get to you. I promise, like 7 minutes away. Our next guest is one of my he's one of my favorite officers, and I don't know that many, so the list is short. He entertains me on social media. He is a legend in my eyes when it comes to the world of PR. He has an amazing PR firm that he created and is CEO and founder of ScoutComms. You should go check out ScoutComms, amazing organization and what they're doing. He truly leads the way for the veteran cause. I know we talk about veterans a lot on this program. Our next guest is actually one of the people who's actually, to me, inspired me to try to create more platforms to get the veteran voice out there and truly help them. There's obviously different groups. There's the disgruntled, pissed off veterans that run around and just be angry all the time. And then there's the leaders like the folks that we put on the show that actually want to take charge, be the tip of the spear. And to me, our next guest, Fred Wellman, is definitely leading the charge. So let's welcome Fred Wellman to the show. Fred.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey. Fancy, huh? You like those long intros.
I know. I'm impressed. Look at that, man. Wow.
I'm trying. I'm trying. This is trying. Normally I have a producer in the booth. And I don't have a producer in the booth today. He's probably laughing at watching.
You haven't hardly cussed at all. It's been impressive, honestly.
It's really difficult.
You know, I'd be cussing by now.
I'm trying. That Chef Clemenza usually causes that. He came on and broke the F-bomb record. I think we were trying to tie. Was it Django had the highest amount of F-bombs in one sentence?
About right. I was watching his bit. I can see that.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. You were just in Jersey, so let's talk about that. You just spent a couple weeks in New York, and you weren't sightseeing. So what were you doing there?
Yeah, it's been a hell of a month and a half. I got the opportunity to work in a COVID field hospital run by New York Presbyterian Hospital up in Upper Manhattan. It was staffed by veterans of special operations medicine and other services, run by retired.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, all good. Hey, what's going on? And it was just a very cool opportunity. I'm not a healthcare guy. I'm a PR guy or a business executive. But my good friend Kate Kemplin, who was the deputy director and the head nurse, she called me up. We know each other from her work in TBI research, and she called and said, "Hey man, I'm on my way to New York to set up a field hospital. Do you know anybody that can do admin?" I'm like, "I could do admin," and so I took the opportunity. I literally jumped in my car a day and a half later and drove to New York, expecting to spend 2 weeks help setting it up. And 6 weeks later, I'm home.
Look, this is the problem. You got me everywhere. Wow.
You muted yourself. You're stuck at this job.
Producer's officially fired.
You're not good at this job. Yeah. So know your strengths, right?
Really bad. It's not being a producer of a show. I can tell you that. Right now, everybody watching, I've had like some smart Alex from a couple of network folks that watch, and they're texting me going, "You're not a very good producer.
You are not good at the. Nah, it's all right.
You're right.
We know our skills.
So Fred, I mean, you graduated from West Point.
I did.
You served in the Army. In the Army, you flew helos, right? You were a helo?
Yeah, I did 22 years in the Army. I started off as an aviator. I started off as Scout helicopter pilot, hence the name Scout. And then I did Blackhawks for OIF-1 with the 101st Airborne and ended up on TV quite a bit which is a story. And I became a public affairs officer for the rest of my career.
I love
Total
it.
of 22 years in the Army.
Just 22. I like the way you say
Yeah.
it. I love all you guys that have been in for years. You're just like 22.
Yeah.
Just flew Blackhawks around, just flying around. And I do have to ask, and I'm not making fun of you, I promise, because I bash Marines do the same thing. How come whatever our MOS is or whatever we do when we're in, like Marines will always name something like Semper Fi Agency or something like that. And it's no knock that our next guest, his name is the Marine Rapper. That has nothing to do with it. We're not picking on him. But it's not a bad thing. I think it's great. I can always identify a Marine in a room, or you Scout guys for dang sure, because you guys always like Scout comms. I'm like, I know.
We're very proud of you. Scout's a unique talent.
Right.
You know, I mean, gotta remember, I did Desert Storm, man, in an unarmed helicopter. I flew into combat with no guns. So please, I don't want to tell me something crazy.
So you're a Desert Storm veteran.
In addition to 3 Iraq tours.
Okay, we're done.
So I did Desert Storm, and then I did 08 1 at the 101st. I went back in 05 as a public affairs officer, and then 08 again as a public affairs officer.
Look at you. So,
well, the food's great. I mean, honestly, if you ever had kebab, it's just kept going back for the food,
Of course, Marines will never tell you they go back for the food.
No, that's good food.
Our chow sucks. The Air Force is like, what are you talking about? We have 5-star dining. And they pick up a tray. It's the good life. So, you do a lot in the veteran community. So tell folks a little bit about I know you created recently, and this is like the last 6 months. I say recently like it was yesterday, but COVID-19 has me forgetting what day it is. I swear I've been quarantined.
Yep. We're all pandemic time now.
Yeah. And I also feel like we've been doing this election 2020 for like 8 years, but
there's that.
It feels that way, right? The media loves starting re-election like the day they get into office. It's like, stop, give us a break. But so talk about some of your new mission. I love what you're really focused. I've been catching your newsletters of helping vets. So let's talk a little bit about that, because that's exactly what Thursday's show is for our vets that tune in just on Thursday. They tune in other days, but this is the day we talk about veteran issues, which is my focus. Tell a little bit what you're doing.
Well, Scout Comms, I started in my basement 10 years ago. I'd gotten a job after I retired from the Army. Like a lot of guys, it wasn't a great fit. I lost that job in about a month or a year, which is a long story. And I was looking for a gig. And when I interviewed a lot of these big public relations firms and marketing firms in DC, there wasn't any veterans. It was just so obvious that there was a gap in the knowledge of our community and what we do. So I went ahead and got the idea to start my own firm. And of course, I was a scout and I do comms, scout comms, it was easy. But from the beginning, our goal was to sort of understand the veterans, help these other agencies and corporations and others understand the veteran experience, speak the language, understand what the needs were for our community, military and veterans. And so that's kind of where we took our focus. So about 3 years into it, I looked up one day and literally all my work, I've been doing a little defense work, that was gone. So all my work is focused on veterans. So we became a benefit corporation at that point, which is a for-profit company with a social impact mission, basically. And it was the easy fix. It was like, well, we're going to do veterans and military families. And we implemented that even then. And the way we did it was, one, we hired from the community. We serve only clients that work in the community for veterans, military families, be it corporations or nonprofits. And then we did a ton of pro bono work for small nonprofits and, sponsorships, whatever we could do at the time. And that varied over the years. Now we're hitting the 10-year mark. We started, I think you're probably talking about what we started back in the fall. We kicked off what's called the Veterans Research Network, which is so 2 years ago, I created a research department, and I've got a wonderful Dr. Kirsten Downs, PhD, who runs it now. And we are building a standing panel, if you will, of veteran and military community members so that they can be regularly polled and surveyed in an easier fashion than the typical way we do it, which is like trying to get people on social media. So we've been building the VRN pretty steadily, and hopefully some of your folks will watch and we'll go to our website and join the Veterans Research Network. And some polls will be, incentivized, some won't, but we've already used it a number of times to kind of tell the story. We've got a poll running right now, for matter of fact, with the partners at Force March Group to talk about mental health issues surrounding the COVID crisis and how veterans are dealing with it. I don't know how you've heard any, Eric, but I've literally heard from, one of my military spouse friends told me her husband lost 2 guys in the last 2 weeks. A guy I know from some of my charitable work was a senior executive at a large bank, a famous bank, killed himself last week. One of my friends who's a therapist at VA said one of her veterans committed suicide. So there's clearly an indication, anecdotal at least, that the COVID crisis has accelerated some of the challenges we have. And so we as a firm are dedicated to work in that sector. We work with companies that invest in that sector and nonprofits. Right now, one of my favorites is Vets for Warriors. Vets for Warriors is a remarkable organization run by retired Major General Mark Graham out of Rutgers University that is 24/7 peer support line. So you can call them and they're available to talk to you 24/7. And we call it a non-crisis hotline. It's the idea being, before something becomes like I'm starting to get aggravated at the VA, let me call these guys and help them let me navigate that. And they've seen their highest number of calls ever because of this crisis, and they're doing a great work. So yeah, it's a tough time right now, and the pandemic hasn't made it any easier,
Yeah, it's absolutely, and unfortunately, I'm over here nodding my head off camera that I've noticed the suicides. Not that my social isn't always seem to be full of them, unfortunately, but I'm noticing a bigger uptick of some, highly decorated. I mean, that's the thing. We've been talking about PTSD a lot this week. We do a lot of work with Laughter Saves Lives and Walk the Bridge, which is by a retired NYPD detective, John Salerno, out of Texas. And talking about suicide amongst their ranks and the badge. It's just everywhere, right? And I mean, we just need a lot of help, and I just don't think that's ever been a focus. I went on a very long rant about focusing on our veterans, but Fred, I want to thank you for coming on. We got to have you on again real soon, and
I'd love that.
I'd love to deep dive into mental health with you and talk about not our mental health. Yeah. We could do that with whiskey, but I want to talk about.
See a video of mine. I just did a video for the VA. You can go see that.
We should. I want to have you back on and and get a few other folks that are heavily involved within veteran mental health side of the house that can have a good, constructive conversation about it and jump into it. So I'll reach out to you online so we can have you back on, because obviously I love your insight. I consider you a mentor and a dear friend. So I thank you for coming on. I thank you for what you did in New York. It means a lot. It further proves what I tell people all the time, that a lot of us believe that service never ends, and we will always lead the charge and step up when other people won't call. We will. So that's why we honor those folks on our Thursdays here. So I want to thank you, Fred, for coming on, and I hope you have a blessed Memorial Day.
Sounds good, bro. Good talking to you, man.
Thanks. Have a good one. Okay, you just got to wait for me to transition into something else. So bear with me, folks. We're so fancy. I cracked myself up. Hey, before we bring on our next guest, make sure that you saw what the video told you to do. It told you to smash that subscribe button. So go smash it, add to it. We're trying to get to 100 people. Shouldn't be this hard. Enough of you watch the show. There's no way that so many people watch it, but not that many people subscribe. I don't say this for my health. Trust me. I have better things to do than try to remember on a daily basis to tell you guys to subscribe. So please subscribe. I'm just being honest. Hit that button. Hit the bell so you know what we're on. Now, I'm excited for our next guest. And we had, I don't know if they have a leader. It's not like they're the Beatles and like, hey, this is John. I don't know. They're all laughing. I can see them in the green room. So we have our next guest, veteran. We're, as we do every Thursday, we talk about veterans. Well, this group of badass veterans all came together, and they're all hip hop rap artists. I sound so Caucasian when I say it that way. Even the way that I wrote it, writing rap artist, I even said it with that voice as I wrote it. It's like doing Morgan Freeman's voice. But these three amazing veterans came together and formed a band called Space Force. Now, in a little bit, we're going to play this amazing track that they sent to us to tease you guys with to go with their upcoming release. But before we do that, let's welcome to our show the boys, the gentlemen. Somebody said I couldn't write boys because that's what I wrote earlier. The boys from Space Force. Apparently, I offended somebody who's a boy. So, welcome to the show, Space Force. Hold on, get you on. Boom.
What's up? Here. Yeah, what's up, Eric? How you doing, bro?
I don't know. Apparently, I called you guys boys, and somebody got they're veterans. I'm like, if TMR has an issue with me calling him a boy, I'm sure he'd let me know. And,
No, it's all good.
Topher looks like he could end my life, so I don't think I would purposely go around calling him boy if I didn't think he's cool with it.
No, we're all good. We're all good. Like we look up to like people like the Beastie Boys and stuff, so that's cool.
Hey, the Beastie Boys are legends, man. My first concert, '86, the Beastie Boys and Run DMC in Orlando. Two Live Crew opened for them.
Wow.
Crazy.
And my mom let me go to that. Shame on my mother. Great music. So let's talk about Space Force. So the three of you obviously are also solo artists, right?
Correct.
Okay. Which one of you wants to go first? Kieran, we'll go with you, man. Talk about how you got into music. Marine Rapper, we're Team R. We already had you on, so you could just let everybody go before you.
Okay, yeah. So I got to start making music actually when I was in high school. I really liked all kinds of music, and my parents were actually in the Army band, and so they had me and all my brothers kind of play an instrument. So I got into trumpet in elementary school, and I played trumpet all the way up through high school. And then I was like, well, what am I going to do with the trumpet? And I couldn't really think of anything that I wanted to do with that. So I was really into hip hop at the time, and so I decided I'd give a shot at doing that. And so just through the years, I've been working at creating and making the best out of what I can for my stories and what I was going through in the military. And once I got out 11 years later, I ran into Topher, and Topher had met TMR. And so we all just happened to link up in just the right way. And so that's how we found one another all online. And then we decided, hey, let's create this group, Space Force. We're all vets. Let's do something different. And that was kind of our main idea behind doing that.
I love that. So I'm going to bring Topher back in. Topher, you there now?
Yeah, so I'm in the car and my phone overheated. I'm in that Mississippi heat, so.
Isn't there a TikTok about being stuck in your house, but you'll turn it to stuck in your car?
Stuck in your car, man.
I just ran with that. That's what original people do. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be on TikTok in my 40s, but I like it. It's addicting. Apparently, Bruce Willis, the one thing I've learned is TMR and Bruce Willis really need to find something else to do and get out of lockdown because they both love TikTok a lot. Seriously.
Right.
TMR, you and your TikTok.
Topher's the king of TikTok, though. Topher.
No. By all means, not.
No, look at your growth. Sorry, I just knocked my microphone up. That's embarrassing. TMR, look at your growth over the weekend. You were like 85,000 followers. I mean, come on, man.
This is about the group, though.
I couldn't help it. We talk about TikTok. So, Topher, let's talk about you. So, Kira was telling us about his story, how he got into music. What's yours, man?
I guess the typical story. I grew up, very rural area in Mississippi. Not much going on here. My dad is actually a blues singer / player, and they tried to get me to play the guitar. I never liked it, and I knew I couldn't sing, but I wanted to do something musically. So I got involved with hip hop, and when I really started writing is when I heard, I think, the Eminem Slim Shady LP. I think is the one that got me started, and I've been writing since I was 10, and then I continue to do it because I can't stop. Like when I stop, I feel something just feels off, so I have to continue to write. And I'm glad I bumped into Space Force. But like I said, the first person I met was D Cure, and that was during the Cypher Circuit time. We did a collaboration, and then I think a couple months later I met Timmer up in California, and the rest is history.
I love it. So you guys have a new album dropping. Is that what we're still calling them, albums? Is that still a thing?
Yeah,
That's
we
it.
call
Yeah.
it that.
LP?
Yeah, people call it different things like record and tape and stuff still, but we know what it means.
Yeah, I mean, I just was confused because I was like, but it's not an album because that's not what I got sent. It just always throws me for a loop, and I want to try to stay current, right? But everybody's into vinyls again, right? My kids have it. My wife put it on her Christmas list. I was like, you want vinyls? Okay. It's all current music, too. This Billie Eilish person who's like really depressed all the time. Very talented, but good Lord, depressed. So you guys want to tease before I play this song? Anybody who wants to volunteer to tease this song?
Topher took the lead on this one, so I think he could tease it.
Oh, there we go. Topher.
The remix.
So pretty much Galaxy is I don't know if you ever wanted to be in the Galaxy or anything like that, but we figured that space is a lot of room in isolation itself, but also if you have a tragedy that happens, right? So we was thinking like if a friend betrayed you or someone that was really close to you, whether it's yourself, your friend, or a partner, and they betrayed you, and you had to find them across the galaxy. Like you had to go across the galaxies to find them, to take them out. How would that story play out? And that's how we came up with the song Galaxy.
Sweet. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, strap in and enjoy. We get this before anybody else because it officially drops what day? The 29th, 28th, 27th?
29th, yeah.
I knew I was right. It was a 20-something. I took a risk there. I know it was like, anyways, you're like, good job, Eric. Way to not know. Fucking happens. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
I got nothing to say. Sergeant came down with new orders today. Said you're defective while breaking away from detainment and leaving the whole base afraid. Discovered you work for the SS&A. Stolen some seekers and then ran away. Some of my team and I knew right away. We were the hunters and you are the prey. Hard to believe that I was stupid with the enemy. Never occurred for me to doubt your identity. Or wanted to exist in a vague captivity. The one to find a message I'm thinking about sanity. On the road, here we go, like a low roll. Follow code, let it go, do what I was told. The better with it, I can take the shot. Pray I'm not the one in that spot. It's a war going on right now in my head. Fighting well all the BS you fed. Making contact is what I dread. I don't want to see you end up dead. Maybe emotions are clouding my judgment. I don't like being bludgeoned. But tell me what trust do I have? An order's an order. Either discretion.
Running all over through the galaxy. Through the galaxy. Through the galaxy.
tragedy for the galaxy.
Yeah.
I remember when you protect. Now we out here, gotta watch you defect. Man, what happened to you? You forget. I never believe it, look at you, you're a vet. You used to behave and be glad. Stationed in brag, you would be waving a flag. Pulsing away to a land, rifles side by side. Now you're aiming the back, off in the stars. Never coming off guard, down when I'm up. Got the heat on me like a Pop-Tart. No Alawak bar, you're not going that far. Never holding that back, can you lower that bar? I'ma need a minute before I blow my friend away. Say a couple words while I fold my hands of praise. Promise I'm a hater when I see you go to waste. Just another body floating in space. If you go against the cavalry, you'll be a casualty in the galaxy. I put you in a box like amnesty. Everyone can kind of feel the gravity. We back at the academy, but they understand that it had to be. I've been running all over through the galaxy, through the galaxy, through the galaxy. I've been roaming all over in this galaxy. It's a tragedy for the galaxy.
Yeah.
Hey. Where'd he go?
SOS. There's a tragedy in the galaxy.
SOS.
Eric.
Eric. I guess we're taking over the show, right? It's our show.
That's cool. So yeah.
I'm here. I pushed the wrong button. I'm not in charge. I'm not here. I'm in charge by myself. Which is funny is my EP, he's just like, hey, let me know if you need anything. Help? I don't know.
Please.
I don't know. Push a button. I don't know. Remind me that I'm not on camera. I'm just talking to myself. No, but okay. Who's the one that's flowing like freaking Busta Rhymes on there?
That's probably me. Yeah.
Good. Woo. I like that. That's good. Like,
Thank you. Yeah.
I like that. I think it's funny. A lot of people look at veteran artists like you do when you look at like athletes that turn into music too, right? Like one of my personal faves is Dame Lillard, right? From, Dame Dollar.
Oh yeah.
But people crap on him, but I think he's got one of the best flows as an athlete. I think he's a top rapper too. I mean, in the game, he's really good. And I mean, a lot of the guys in the NBA are. There's quite a few of them. It's not, okay, the late Kobe was not the greatest rapper. I love Kobe's. Mamba was the man, but
Shout out to Shaq.
Shaq Diesel, come on. Credit.
I mean, Shaq was he actually was good for
Kazam.
coming out of yeah, for Kazam.
He said Kazam. For Kazam. Somebody's like, what is Kazam? A movie that you should watch. But I mean, what do you guys think about that? A lot of people look at a lot of veterans too, and they're like, oh, they're just doing this and it can't be good. I mean, to me, I listen to that on the radio and bob my head to it. I mean, it's going to go in my playlist. It's going to play out on my truck later on today. So, I mean, what do you guys have to say to that? When people kind of come down on the veteran artist thing?
We actually talk about it like very frequently. We actually talk about it all the time because we go, hey, what do you think about this? Or why didn't somebody like this? Or, how can we be more relatable and stuff? So we always try to find different ways to switch up our style. And like, literally, we've been doing this for years. Like D-Cure said, like D-Cure's been a musician for a while. Topher's been at it for a while. And I've been at it for a while. We've all had our own like niches and stuff like that. And then we're like, yo, how can we like spread out? And then we started seeing success as Space Force because it's not so like military in your face. Yeah. So, which is crazy. People don't want you to do multiple things, just like how you said Dame Dollar. Like, they don't want you to be talented in so many things. I don't know why.
It's true that you bring that up because if you remember over the summer, Dame dropped his album, which is, I mean, pure fire. It's been in several TV shows. I mean, the Billion Show on Showtime has played it, as have others. It's a good track. And I think it's funny, people attacked him. And I know you guys kind of feel that same heat. It's like, what, you can't do two things? Like, you can't be good at one thing and good at something else? Like Dame said, he's like, I'm still in the gym. I mean, the dude was leading the NBA for a time in scoring. He's still a top 5 point guard in the league. I don't think that's affecting him too much. I mean,
well, I guess people don't understand that we're people outside the uniform.
Yeah.
So they think that all we know is Constitution, I guess, mission, and that's it. Like, we don't care about family or anything else. We're just straight about the mission. It's like, no, guys. A lot of us had lives before we joined, and we're gonna continue to have lives after we join, even while we're in it, right? Even though it's hard to do, but we still try to have lives. So I wish people I guess with this, we can help release that stereotype that no, we still got some very talented stuff. And some people join the military because they wanted to serve. You know, just because you're in the military don't mean you're not smart. Don't mean you couldn't went to Harvard. Don't mean you could have been a great athlete. It's just that you wanted to go down this path.
I mean, I think that's awesome. One thing that I have a question for you, and I'm not trying to offend. They're obviously not on this call, but there's patriotic music, right? And a lot of that's come out, and they get into this ultra. Every song is about loving America or ending your life. I don't listen to music to do that. For me, my music is workout, right? Like, I am not a Rob Zombie fan normally, but if I'm gonna go run or do something, I'll throw that in my ears as much as I'll throw in freaking anything else, right? I mean, I grew up on the Beastie Boys and Run DMC. I was laughing because I don't know if you guys checked it out, but the soundtrack to Last Dance from the Michael Jordan documentary, that had some good, just old school rap was in it because, you know, Jordan came up in the mid 80s. So they had a lot of like Dougie Fresh, freaking, you know, a lot of people like Tribe Called Quest back in the day when nobody knew who they were. So you had a lot of that, and it's funny to see those songs be number one again over the last few weeks because people are like, I like it. And I listen to your guys' tunes, and you guys kind of have, I don't want to compare you to people, but like I like the Pharrell sound. Like if you think of that jam they did back in the early 2000s, that's what that sounds like to me. Like you listen to it, and you're just like spitting fire the whole damn time, so it's like a little Busta in there. And you know, okay, the other parts of Space Force are good too, but I don't know. I love listening to Busta because that dude is like,
yeah.
Hold on, slow that down so I understand that you just actually said words.
Well, I'm not offended, Eric. I mean, because if you listen to the track just for a DQ, I still get paid too, so it's fine, bro.
That's right.
It's all good. I mean, it's wrong. But next for you guys, obviously this drops next week, and folks can go get it on Apple Music, Spotify, probably all the places, right? So for you guys.
Timmer?
Oh, okay. The
Big
world
picture stuff.
No, yeah, no big. Oh, I'm the big picture type. I'm the idea. So that's the thing. Like we're all like good at something, you know. so DQ's the fast dude, you know, and Topher is he has that like commercial appeal, and you know he obviously he's also into politics, and then me, I'm like the idea type of like lyrical type of guy. So like if you listen to Space Force, you have to like something. Like you're gonna like something. Like literally, we like with this album, it's called Rocket Science. It's gonna come out in a week from now. It's called Rocket Science. Literally anything you could have thought of, Pharrell is mentioned actually on the album. Like I mentioned him. Like we thought of everything. That's why it's called Rocket Science, because it has everything you could ever think of. Like our influences, like Beastie Boys, Outkast, Pharrell, every space reference, the Jetsons, like their Star Wars, R2D2, all types of stuff. So like if you're a nerd, you're gonna like it. If you're a hip hop fan, you're gonna like it. If you like old school, you're gonna like it. If you like new school, if you like fast rap, if you like bounce, it has like literally everything. And R&B, like it's just a composition of everything. So after we drop this record, and then we get out of this COVID thing, we're going to tour and do a lot of things to benefit the community and just reach out and touch people. But that's our plan, to really reach out and touch a lot of stereotypes and be like, oh wow, they're doing some cool stuff. And then our next thing is to be on the soundtrack of Space Force, the episodic series on Netflix. Soundtrack on Netflix. Yeah. So we want our music to be on the next season. Yeah. But after we actually mentioned Steve Carell too. After this comes out, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have the resume, and they're gonna be like, wow. They're gonna love it. So we have our sights on like really big picture stuff, like synchronizations for film, synchronizations for movies. Also, just different merchandise deals, things like that.
I love it. I mean, you guys are killing it, and that's a good thing to see. I mean, not just because you're veterans, but it's three of you together collaborating, making what to me, I mean, if you only have one good track, I've heard that's a good thing to have on an album, right? I mean, Queen has a whole bunch of music on a bunch of albums, but you only know like one or two songs per album. You guys are doing great. But you guys have time for a couple quick questions that we have that have come in the comments. So, and unfortunately, TMR and Topher, apparently you're not important enough. Everybody wants to DQ. So, Patrick McDonald is a Marine Corps vet. He served like for 100 years in the Corps. he's probably pissed I just said that, but he's like long timer in the core. He asked, DQ, just wondering, when the last time you listened to Bill Chase? I don't know what
Listen
that
to
means.
who?
Bill Chase. There.
Listen to Bill Chase.
Doo-doo-doo.
Man, I got no idea what he's referencing.
The Q&A portion of this show just failed right off the first question.
Chase Bank.
Oh, but okay. Well, we tried Q&A. Anybody else has a question? We'll go back to you.
Man, y'all know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
I don't.
Yeah.
Buzz in if you know who that is. I don't know. So May 29th, a week from today, this drops. Available where?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. YouTube, Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer. I mean, you can buy. We're gonna have album physical copies as well. So yeah, it's gonna be everywhere.
Oh, by the way, DQ, that is the trumpet player.
Oh man, yeah, it's been too long since I listened to any kind of trumpet.
The rest
Louis
of us,
Armstrong.
I don't know. Who's Bill Chase? I'm like, do I know a Bill Chase? No, don't. Everybody else had the same look. So anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on. We need to have you guys on again. I love having the three of you on. Your music is outstanding. We're going to share it on here. If there's any album art you want to send us, we'll share it on your release date through all of our channels because it's important to us that we support you guys. You guys are killing it out there, and of course you support us, so we love you for it. So I want to thank the three of you, Space Force, for coming on today and all that you do. Remember, May 29th, you can check out their new album dropping, and make sure you run out to all the places that you can listen to music and do that. Any closing words from the three of you before we go?
Yeah, and the album's called Rocket Science by Space Force. And then also we all have different causes and things. So I just want to talk about a cause I have, and then I think we should go around the horn and talk about other things that we have going on. So I'm actually involved with the collaboration with 9line. We actually are raising money for the medical officials that need supplies for the COVID-19. And so what we did, we made a shirt, a kind of parody shirt on Wu-Tang, one of our, favorite hip hop groups. So we're using it actually. The funds are actually going straight to the medical officials. So that's what's going on with us over at 9line, the collaboration. That's what I got going on. Topher, what you got?
I was gonna say we recently did conservative hype house and Republican hype house and liberal hype house joined forces to raise money for COVID. I think we raised $2,500. I think it was. But right now I don't really have nothing. But keep it up with news and keep spitting truth. That's pretty much.
And for me, just about 3 weeks ago, I started a platform for hip hop artists and MCs and producers all to get together. That's called The Barkeepers. You can find that on Instagram at Bars Kept. That's BARSKEPT. And you can come check out some cool artists and come be involved with that. So that's called The Barkeepers.
Outstanding. And if you guys send me your links to that, I'll put it in post for our YouTube of this. So it's included in that so folks can go do it. So if you're watching live, when you see this pop up in our YouTube here in a few hours, scroll down the bottom and you can see these links to go get TMR's amazing shirt. I saw that thing yesterday online and I was like, I got to get me one. And obviously, well, Topher, we'll just put your radio show on and we'll drive people there. And DK, we'll put your organization on there so folks can go follow also. And we'll have everyone check out your new album on the 29th. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Have your guys a blessed Memorial Day weekend and be safe.
You too. Thank you, Eric.
I appreciate that. You too.
Later, gents. And we did it. I survived without an EP today. Oh, I had an EP. He was asking me, hey, how can I help you? I love you, Butch. I was like, do all the transitions. That would have helped. But just kidding. This is a fun job. But that is the end of the show today. Again, like I said at the beginning of the show, remember to hit that subscribe button and make sure you share and tell a friend. We are taking the next 4 days off, so that's Friday and Monday, to pay attention to what's going on and reflect on Memorial Day weekend. We have lost a lot of folks over the last several years, and we also remember our fallen from all the battles that are awesome country, the brave men and women who have passed on. We also remember those who have fallen to suicide, an epidemic of astronomical proportions that still is out of control. I do want to take a moment here. This is not veteran related, but I did find out yesterday a dear friend and mentor of mine passed on suddenly. Literally, I had a conversation with her last week. Barbara Giancon was an amazing sales professional, a sales leader, truly an honest person, and amazing folk from Georgia. She passed on suddenly, and I just recently found out. So I wanted to dedicate this show to her. So that's my sad moment. But let's get to some positive things for you. When we return from our Memorial Day break, we come back with an amazing Tuesday show for you. And you heard me hint about it, and you know we've had Soprano before, but we're bringing back a different Soprano. And this one's a little bit bigger than the last one. And it's true. It's hard to say one who's been on a ton of seasons and another. We are going to bring back, and I don't want to crush this, his name is Vincent Pastore, or otherwise known as, oh my Lord, Big Pussy on The Sopranos. Right now, somebody is like, holy shit, did he just say that? I did. And I should be worried because I also said shit. So you're lucky I'm not using the F word. You should be proud of me. I'm left alone in charge of myself. But we do have Vincent Pastore on the show with us on Tuesday. It will be a great time. If you have questions, please send them beforehand to the point DM. I'm going to stick and you can still hear me, but unfortunately you see my picture stuck, but I'm pointing. That looks good. I'm pointing at the picture. That's solid. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back to finish this for you folks. But you can send us questions and we will take care of you. Bear with me. I promise we're coming back. We're going to lose everybody right now because of this wonderful whatever just happened. Anyways, so we have that show on Tuesday. We have Vincent Pastore. We are bringing back Chef Clemenza. He's going to cook a meal. We have the Chef Challenge. This is fantastical. At least we finished the show on an error. That's even better. There we go. We're going to fix this. Don't go away. Don't run away. There we go. I'm back. Woo! Okay. Told you I wasn't gone. So we actually gained a viewer. I guess my picture's ugly. So we have Vincent Pastore, and then we have the Triple Deuce Chef Challenge. We have the first challenger against Chef Clemenza will be on the show next Tuesday. As always, we have our Wednesday show with my co-host Jordan Gilbert. And next Friday, since we're not having a Friday episode this Friday, Pavlina Osto, my co-host, will join us again. And we'll be bringing you Joy Villa next Friday. We'll be joining the show. I hope you all have a blessed Memorial Day weekend, and you take a few moments in between enjoying your family and your freedom to remember those who gave their life for our freedom. We've lost and shed a lot of blood on many shores across the globe to live in what is still the greatest country in the world. Go to a third world country and then come back to me and tell you have it hard here. I could tell you, you don't. So enjoy your freedom, enjoy your Memorial Day, and remember, just for a second, take a pause for the cause, and remember those who gave and paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Remember, I'm Eric Mitchell. Be safe, be smart, be strong, and God bless America. I don't even know which one it is. This is awesome.